So, what had happened last week? Um, yes, you guys did split the party. Um, the Great Mancini and Koh took Nathan to the Druid, or the Druidic Circle, the Golden Chosen, in search for their assistance. Um, Nathan was put through a ritual, at which time Koh had to defend him uh, in whatever means was necessary, which was during the ritual, some being rose up out of the ground and seemed to only focus on Nathan. And so Koh defended his friend. Nathan came back, and in one last hurrah, they vanquished it before it disappeared. William went to the docks to search for a ship, found a shady individual, and proceeded to help him with a competing fisherman uh, before securing their voyage on an agreed price of 5 gold per person for a security deposit. And then Azan had taken your guys' captive dockworker and escorted him to the guard precinct, where it was pretty quickly revealed that the party had um, killed off all the other workers within the warehouse, including the um, leader, Chancy. The guards were not so interested in this dock worker and let him go, but they were very interested in what Azan had said about them, you guys, murdering the whole group of workers. And in their attempt to capture Azan, he made his escape, making his way down to the docks, while um, Nathan, Koh, and Mancini decided to let the druids have some friends and go have a drink with them at the Open Tree Tavern. Oh, and for Nathan's resurrection, in a month's time, the party is expected to help them with a trek. That is where we left off with that. So, uh, uh, you guys were acquiring your own ship, which is what William has done so far. He's procured its services, but you guys have yet to board it. So, Mancini, Nathan, and Koh, as you guys are finding out how disinteresting your new friends are, how are you going to try and rejoin your other companions, or are you waiting for them to come back with news of their own? Okay. So that's what Koh thinks. Nathan, Mancini. Yep, because Koh, Nathan, and Mancini, the three of you went to, well, Nathan, you had no choice in the. Yeah, Mancini was with you guys the whole time. In quotes. Okay. So you guys are waiting at the Open Tree Tavern. You've enjoyed your meal that you previously had requested. And now just waiting for William and Azan to make their way through town back to the Open Tree Tavern to report their findings. William, Azan, how are you guys doing? Sitting on the docks, keeping an eye out on things. Well, how long would you wait around? Okay. As you keep an eye out, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. And then, Azan, I'm assuming you're also keeping an eye out for any patrolling guards or anything like that. So if you wouldn't mind. Yes, please. Okay. William, looking out and about, you're kind of on edge, looking for any signs of anything, especially since you know you're about ready to get on a pirate ship, and you just had a very interesting encounter with a fisherman. So, Azan, as you're looking about, you're pretty sure you hear guards yelling for attention. They seem to be off at a distance, but they don't seem to be coming close to the docks. Alright, so after 90 minutes have passed, how do the two of you want to proceed? Alright, very good. Um, while you're alone, Azan, what is your plan? Or are you going with William? Okay. Sounds good. Alright. William takes you a little over 15, maybe 20 minutes to get back to the tavern. Um, at this hour, most of the tavern has died down and quieted. You don't see Kommena out and about anymore. No more drinks have been served anytime too recent. But as you get in there, though, you are able to find your party. They have a few strangers with them, though they seem to be asleep on the table. You're welcome to make a lore check if you would. I would also accept society checks from anyone else who may have seen a shop or might know a place. You're with them, Nathan. Yep. The only person that's not there currently is Azan. Yes, because you guys love splitting the party, and it makes it easy for me. It's under actors, where it has the party. You click on that little page-like thing, and it'll open up that party sheet. Alright, I did not plan that. Make a little bit of money? Okay. Go ahead and, oh, I can't remember what downtime activity it is. Um, Earning an income, that's what it is. So if you go to your downtime activities, alright, so under actions, and then on right below it, there's encounter exploration. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Yeah, that works for me. I assume you clicked the performance button, but it didn't roll it, did it? Yeah. Go ahead and just do a performance roll then. Yeah, because the widget it didn't have the roll happen. So. Oh, you haven't finished it. Yeah. Okay, gotcha. Gotcha. All right. Not great, but you were able to come up with a copper. Oh, sorry. Earn income level 1. Why do they have a level? That's silly. Uh, Never mind. It's going to be 2 copper. They, I don't know why they have a level 0. Oh, you got to choose it? Oh, interesting. Oh, that is so interesting. But yep, you got 2 copper out of that. Oh, hey, even if you click on it where it says earn income level 1, it even tells you. That's cool. Love learning new things. Alright. Well, not the most lucrative of adventures for, or uh, of activities, but it made just some coin. Nope. Yeah, it's kind of tough seeing a friend die and brought back all within 24 hours. Yes, you guys do. um, William and Nathan, both of you, you're pretty sure there's a few spots in town that have enough activity that you'd be able to sell the gear. Um, there is this little section of town that's kind of like a outlet mall or a strip mall outside. Um, oh gosh, like an outdoor market. There we go. That's what it is. Where it's pretty busy most of the night, and so you'd have a good chance of selling all your stuff there. Well, if you roll the way Mancini rolls, hopefully not. Okay. Perfect. As you guys head on out, making your way through the city, I need to pull up my information for the rest for that section. Ah, there we go. I thought I had more information than this ready. There we go. There we are. Yep. Alright, as you get into um, the bazaar, you find there's a number of stores that seem to be still operating. Um, the one, though, that seems to be the most interested in the wares you're trying to sell is Aegis Armaments. As you see, it's proprietor, a strong, stalwart orc working at an anvil, hammering away at it looks like the beginning of a sword. Well, depends on the quality. What do you got? He starts looking over each of the items, and as William says that, he's holding the spear, looks back at you, and while looking right at you, William, he snaps the spear. Best quality. After going over everything, giving things good tugs, he gets to the armor. He looks at the group of you as you see, after he stares at each of you, he's holding up and pointing at a very dark stain on the armor. Do I want to know? That much I was able to gather. For the whole bunch of stuff, I could do 20 gold. It's very generous, seeing as it seems it wasn't gifted freely to you, and I do have to make a profit in turn. 25 is what I'd be lucky to get. Yes, he is. Um, in this case, I would say either thievery or society, I guess. You want to do this one to see if he's screwing you over. Yeah, Traveler's Lore would be applicable for sure. Um, you would know that for the most part, when merchants buy stuff, they usually buy it back around half the value. That way they can turn a profit for themselves, since, that's what merchants do. I'm seeing the total wealth as 25 too, not 29 too. Yeah, it shows the total wealth up at the top. I'm assuming you put two leather armors at 4 gold piece a piece. Mm-hmm. It the total value of that group of armor. Because if you change it to 3 to 4, yeah. It's the all right. So if you open up the party sheet, so it's that paper where it says the party. At the very top, it'll have overview, exploration, stash. Ah, yeah, nope, not that one. So, yep. He's offering 20 out of 25. Okay. Um, with that, it looks like he's about to call someone, and then he turns back. Okay. Um, I'll be right back. As he heads into his um, building that's attached to the forge space, and comes out with a small pouch, hands it over to William, since William's been the most engaged in the conversation, and he takes all this gear off of your hands. Yes, as you begin to count it, all 20 gold pieces are there. Okay, because I did put 20 gold in the party stash. So as in the party group, yep. As a group, you guys have 26 gold and 9 silver and 5 copper by the looks of it, all combined. Okay. As you guys are taking care of acquiring enough currency to pay for this trip and this voyage, Azan, as you are waiting about, you do see another individual begin to approach the same pier. What is your reaction? They are very wearing dark colored clothing, and they seem to be walking quite quickly, as if they have intention in mind. Alright, go ahead and roll a stealth check for me if you would, please. Alright, quickly tucking away behind some barrels and crates. The individual seems to walk by rather quickly in the direction of this captain as they have a quick, hushed discussion. Go ahead and roll perception. The captain's voice is slightly raised as he talks to this individual. Um, but the individual seems to catch on to that and leave pretty quickly. No one to be concerned with. When your friends show up, we'll finally get out of here. Yes, you guys have been waiting quite a while. Let's see here. Ship was procured around midnight, and you guys are probably pushing close to. You're definitely pushing close to 2:30, 3 o'clock at this point. Yeah, you're. I meant to take Let's see if I can take back 15. There we go. Yep, it's about 2:35. It's early in the morning. Late at night. Normally I prefer to be on the water at this time. Means that the tide's going to be a little different. If you said some stuff before knowing about your boat work, did not hear it. Yeah. Um, you there's a possibility with your library lore because books. So you are welcome to roll a library lore check if you would like to, or academia, either one of those. Actually, more so academia than library. Yeah. With the little bit of knowledge you do have about ships and traveling on the water, um, tide can very much have an effect on how a ship performs and travels at night or at any hour. So it is very much valid for this captain to have concern about the tide. Okay. As the rest of you finally show up, it is about 3 o'clock at this time. Ah, good. As he, so there's 25 in total. That is what I'm trying to get real quick because not everyone has gold pieces. Alright. Yep. Alright, so it looks like it's going to take Ko's gold, Azan's gold, and William's 2 gold. That puts you guys at 24. So, yeah. You guys need 10 silver in total. Alright, so the 5, go ahead and hold on to. Because you have it now with Mancini and Koh's silver. Alright, very good. Silver never hurt. So, welcome aboard. As he gestures, uh, before quickly running aboard and kicking awake two other individuals. We're off. As they grumbly wake up and start to untie knots, and as the last of you get aboard this small vessel, they shove off of the dock and into the night. You guys are no longer land bound to the city of Ka Maluhia as you begin to set sail into the misty sea. Let's see here. You begin traveling in more of an easterly direction, though got to get away from the land, so a bit north as well. As the sun begins to creep up, reflecting off of the waves of the water, you see a little bit of that morning mist rising up from the ocean, or from the sea, as you begin to make your journey. Is there anything the group would like to do during the few hours that you've got while you're traveling the ship right now? Okay. There are two crew members and the captain. Yep. And it is a rather small vessel. Okay. Um, Go ahead and yeah, just roll a general perception check. Okay. Um, it seems that for the most part, they're just doing odd behaviors, putting their hands in the water, giving some ropes, some tugging, and then the captain just keeping a hand on the wheel up at the helm, but not much else. Yes. Julian. Did we lose Julian? Oh. I think he's just getting a little seasick. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Azan was amazed at your return, and this being the first chance they get to speak with you about it. Um, if you would like to make, well, actually, let me see if it actually gives me some information that I could work with. Yeah, if you want to make a religion lore check, you are welcome to. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Um, seeing as how this is not something you've ever been to exposed to, it is quite peculiar how it's described and everything that he's went through during this experience. You are welcome. Yeah, it's a small boat, so yeah, pretty much you guys can all hear each other. You're welcome to make that religion check as well. The creature that the group describes, as they describe it, it sounds like a creature that you've heard of called a festrog. But it, how they describe it, it just doesn't sound right because normally a creature doesn't just come up out of the ground and focus on something dead like that and then leave the same way when the dead has been returned to life. Um, but at the same time, bringing someone back from the dead is very challenging, and all the accounts you've heard about or seen every time is different. And so, very rarely do you ever hear about two resurrections being so similar. Yes. Here's that creature, by the way. As you guys continue on your journey, you find yourselves more and more so in the mist. Um, Initially, you can see out probably a good 200 feet, but it's quickly, rapidly reducing to 100 feet, 75 feet, 50 feet. There is a reason it's called the Misty Sea. Up ahead, you see a little off to the side a bright light up above a little bit. Almost like it's hanging up near the sky, but not quite as high as what the sun is right now. And not nearly as strong. Yes, that is normal too. That's where we'll switch over to our other ship. Got to go a little faster, and if we're going to be taking the snake, it needs to be bigger, with more crew. Well, you guys said you knew where they were going, so we head that direction. I appreciate the comment. Alright, as the ship gets closer and closer, you can begin to see that what they're steering the ship towards seems to be in a small little outpost with a small, uh, not very large, but a small lighthouse atop of it. Alright. We're gonna disembark. We'll head inside. I'll get the other ship ready. And we'll head out with the rest of the crew. As the ship pulls up to the dock, you see there are two individuals on the dock. Both of them seem a bit shorter than most beings, but doesn't seem to be too much of a problem. At least not for the captain, apparently. Let me go ahead and drop your characters off on this scene. And we will go from there. Oh yeah, let me pull you to the scene too. That usually helps, huh? Alright. What's up? Oh, they are? Dang. Oh, because I can't hear what you... Oh. Oh, gosh. There's no way I'm going to be able to edit those. Yep, sorry about that. You might want to change the ambient section of the sounds. Good to know that those are not configured the way I normally would. But oh well. Alright. As you guys get off on the dock, the captain and his two crew are getting the ship tied up and calls up to you. Head inside. I'll be there shortly. As you pass the short dwarven lady, don't go too far. Yeah, yeah. Shuts the door. The one you're at right now? Um, yeah, go ahead and roll your thievery check. Um, as you go to check it, you actually get hit by the door slightly. Excuse me, can you move away? Because you're supposed to wait in here. As the double doors in the room with the table open up, two individuals walk in. And as they walk in, Azan, you notice something immediately. These individuals are wearing Ka Maluhia guard armor. So, it looks like Captain nabbed the, what were they calling it? The, dockyard murderers or something like that. So, while we get this figured out, why don't you gentlemen Put your armaments on the table, making this quite nice and easy. And then we will proceed from there. Oh, make it the free-for-all. We will make the one-on-one fight later. Oh, my wife would not appreciate that. Ah, the pirate! Ah, that hook works almost every time. She has a big old smile on her face, and you can see she is holding a chuckle back as you all seems flabbergasted that you were caught up in this scheme. Nope, and that's fine. All right, well, let's go ahead and have you guys all all roll initiative. Because being murder hobos didn't cause this or anything. Oh jeez. This will be. Oh. They did something new. This just made my job a lot easier as the GM. Well, at the top of the combat or the encounter tracker, it tells me how much experience points there is, or how much experience points it's worth. So that's really awesome for me. All right. Well, right off the bat, seeing as you took a step away, they are going to try and grapple Mancini. Um, that is a 23 versus your reflex save, which is a 15, so that is going to be a success. As they grab a hold of you, they're going to pull out a set of manacles, and they are going to try and slap them on you. That is going to be another athletics check against your reflex save, so that's against a 15. Oof. As they get their manacles wrapped onto your wrists, your hands are now bound. Let's see here. You are grabbed and restrained. That's the other one. Oh, restrained is better than grabbed. Okay. And that is their turn with all three actions. This one, next to Azan, he's going to try and grab... Oh wait, that would have been a minus... Yeah, -5, he still would have grabbed the manacles on you. Azan, they are going to try and... They're also going to try and grab a hold of you. So your reflex... Ooh, that is going to be a fail as they try to get a hold of you. So instead, they're going to try and bash you against the wall. So that's going to be a -5. Um, well, you will have your weapon in hand. So, oof, 17 to beat, and that's, or wait, shove is, yeah, shove's against your reflex. That's going to fail as well. All right. They're going to pull up their shield. Pull up their. All right, and then that's going to bring up Azan. Nope. They are keyed up. Yep. Yeah. Yeah. Go for it. So if you target him, under actions, you should find demoralize under skill actions. And if you just click the intimidation underneath it, it should roll it. And it should roll against the correct DC for him. Yeah, so under actions, encounter, scroll down, and underneath actions, there's reactions, free actions, and then skill actions. There we go. It's not successful. Okay. Um, well, that was 2 actions. Did you want your third one? Oh, I missed the stance. That's what it was. All right, Mancini. Okay. Let's see here. Restrained. Yeah, you can try to escape or force them open. Yep. That one should be a regular for visibility, yeah. 16 and oh. Oh, all right. Let's see here. Oh. All right. Um, as you start pulling your hands at the manacles, you feel the burning sensation of it, like digging into your wrists, but that is not enough to get your hand free. Oh dang. Um, there we go. There's always demoralizing and recall knowledge checks. That's for sure. Yep. Yeah, you definitely can't get your hands to your hat at this time. Yep, turban. All right. Oof. Neither one, because they're manacled and the orc in front of him has a hold of the chain in between the manacles. So it's not like, haha, I got you in manacles. Now you're free. No, he's still secured. Okay. This individual will go there. William, you hear a knock on the other side of the door. All right, Nathan. Um, Azan has not attacked. He raised his shield. There have been two poor insults thrown, and Azan took a stance and rose his shield. Um, actually, while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to make sure you guys are at full health because you would have been so with the ship ride. Okay. Yes, it is. What are you trying to perceive? Mm. Are you guys getting punked? That is a very good one. Yeah, I would say go ahead and roll that perception check. That would be blind. No worries. It is. It looks like official garb. Whether you're being punked or if this is an actual guardhouse or something, you don't know. Yes. Okay. If you place that 10-foot line down, I will know. Alright. Here. Target these two. Target those. Oh, let's do this. There we go. Aha. And if you would roll. Excellent. I love how that turns out. Woohoo. Alright, that's going to bring us over to Koh. Oh, uh-oh. Alright. And that'll be part of your channel. Right? Because, yeah, elemental blast or the one action, whatever it was. Stance impulse. Impulse. Yes, you may. You do have two. Alright. 16 will hit indeed. As your rock-solid fist slams into them after being hit by a number of small pebbles. Yep. Just... Oh, yeah. Apply damage. Looking pretty bad at this point, actually. Both of them. Very nice. I don't think so. I think... Let's see here. Yep. Well, not William's turn yet. The dwarven lady. Uh, oh, you've rolled so bad on your initiative. As you come close and pull out your katana, she quickly brings out this mace that she had tucked away in her jacket and is going to try and strike you in your knee. With a solid whack. Teaches you. You should be better at listening. Another one across the shoulder. As she somehow swings above your head. Now it's your turn, William. Alright, and for slashing damage, if you choose to take the critical hit deck, it is normal damage, and the target is blinded until healed. Yes, because this one says normal damage. Critical effect, the target is blinded until healed. So okay. Okay. As you do so, Alright. Do be sure to target and fire. You are controlled by the target until the end of your next turn. Oh, you did. That's right. Oh, that would have been so funny right now. Tosses you a set of manacles. Put these on. As the dog comes around, sees Koh and his very statuesque positioning, it is going to charge forward and try to shove you. Um, so that is going to be a critical success, so it's able to push you 10 feet. But there's not 10 feet to push you. But it will push you the 5 feet over the table to have you knocked prone, because that is a critical effect feature. And let's see here. And then it is just going to bite into you. And that is out of map. As it grabs a hold of one of your stony toes. Bringing us back to the top. It's a lab. Alright. Keeps its head, but not its rear. Alright, this orc individual, he is going to start by... Oh gosh. He is going to pull the Great Mancini over next to this wall. So that is going to be an athletics check on his part against your... Yeah, I guess it would be your fortitude on this one. Or no, it'd be reflex because it's basically a shove. Yep, that's going to pass. And he is going to put your manacle over a hook, which has your arms slightly raised. Before he is going to... Oh, man. First... Yeah, for his third one, he's going to step forward over here. Squeeze around the table and get next to Koh and Nathan. Wait, hold on. Did we do Nathan's turn? Yeah, we did. Okay. Oh, that's right. Alright, this one... Oh, he's just not happy with you, Azan. I wish that these guys had just unarmed attacks. But we will... He will pull out his longsword. So there's one. And he is going to try and hit you with the pommel. So we're going to take a non-lethal penalty. Oh, that's going to miss. Before he raises his shield again. Alright. And that will be his turn. Azan! Oh, flurry of blows. Alright, here comes the 2 punches. Or 2 unarmored attacks. Alright, so the second attack is still blocked. But that first hit makes it through. If you want to describe that combo. And roll that damage for that 20 to hit. Okay, non-lethal. Gotcha. Okay. And that is difficult terrain. Nathan, on scatter screen, do they take any damage for moving into it, or is it just upon release? Okay. Yes, you can easily get his hands up and off of the hook. So, Mancini, your hands are still tied together. So you're, in that sense, restrained. But you are free to move about as you need. Alright, Mancini. Yep. Okay. Yep, at this point you feel your skin tear a little bit as you take 1 point of damage. So there's one action for you. Okay. It's probably going to say you're colliding with walls unless you... Yep. Oh, come on. Alright. It was right there, correct? Alright. Alright, this one is unconscious, so it is this one down here. Alright. Oh, let's do this. Yeah, Yeah, it doesn't let me do a big one. And that would invoke some fear as you yell out something frightening. Okay. All right. This individual is going to push the door open as this body slides over. Uh, they are going to step through, and as they have their pickaxes at the ready, they are going to strike at William. There you go. Now you can see it. Alright, as the pickaxe will slightly slash your arm. That'll bring us over to Nathan. Alright. Who are we targeting today? Okay. If you click if you click the little target icon next to save DC basic reflex, it'll pop up with those two targeted. Perfect. Of course, the dog succeeded. As there's some zappy zap going on. But oh, it don't matter too much because you hear him let out a roar of ferocity. Let's see. Come on, turn visible again. All right. With that, that brings us to Koh, who is lying on his back in his stone armor. Oh. That's gonna hit. Actually, that would have been a critical. Right. Nighty night. And that one's out. Alright, William. Because if it's undead. But if you just click healing, it should roll it for you. Woohoo! That's gonna hit. Well, you kind of slice him open and he starts bleeding out to death. Yeah. No bargaining with the dead. Okay. Well, the dog will sit, but it is looking angry and it is growling at all of you. But I guess at this point we can go ahead and end the encounter. Um, do I have that hotkey set up? There it is, haha. No, I don't like it. Let's see. How much did it? They took off that much because that's what they thought it was. All right, cool. All right, there we go. So 140 experience points for the encounter. Mancini is still manacled up. The dog is growling at all of you. With that one, it is going to just keep growling at you. A creature. Ooh. Okay. Okay. All right. Um. Nope. Yeah. All right. Yep. You guys are able to get the manacles off of Mancini. Um, these manacles would not fit the dog. In no way. The what? Uh, Very interesting idea, though. All right. Um, Mancini, as you try to work with the dog, it seems more impassive to you. So it seems like it just doesn't care so much about you. It's not growling at you, but it's growling at everybody else. Impartial, that's what it is. Uh, you mean these doors that you assume are the front doors? Or what front door? Uh, that door is open, so it's not locked. So the door you guys came in through from the docks? Yeah, that door is open. They have not come inside. None of the crew from the ship came inside. As William, you go and close that door leading to the docks, you notice something. The ship has left. Correct. Oh, well, the one north of the dog. Yep. Yeah. Alright, so he'll be over here. He will also be restrained. Uh, oh, hold up. Let me put him as dead so you can loot him. And he. That one was. There was a hobgoblin, there was an orc, there was a dwarf, and a gnome. They just had like sewn in patches on their uniforms. Uh, yep, Ko, as you open that door, you find that that leads out and away from the building itself. Oh, there we go. Let me do this first. Let me get. Of course, let's go do this. Let me get exploration activities from everyone. I don't no longer need the doggy stat block, and I don't need that journal. If you are avoiding notice, if I can get stealth checks blindly, please. Ah. That should be the effect if you would drag that onto your characters. I bet you it's because Mancini was underneath you. But yes, if everybody could add the effect scouting on them, that would be great. Alright. That, and that. Alright, good to know. I think there's one more person. There it is. Perfect. Thank you, Nathan. Or Julian. Alright. Everyone who is hiding is doing their best, and everyone who is scouting is scouting. Azan, as you split apart from the rest of the group and go down a small flight of stairs, you come across, or go up a small flight of stairs, you come across what looks like a cell. As you're able to look inside and you see an individual lying on a bed. The rest of you, with Ko at the lead, you step into a, by the looks of it, kitchen slash dining hall that is currently not busy. You are I was gonna say you guys are free to move about, William and Nathan, as well as Azan. At this point, if I can have Mancini and Koh wait for everyone else to have a chance to move. Because the players might be quicker than the others, but character-wise, you guys kind of would have moved at the same pace. It opens out to a very rocky shoreline along some mountains. And William, as you move further along, you find another cell with two more individuals. They are just chilling. They are awake. Let's see here. As William walks up towards the other direction, the two individuals in that cell turn to see who it is. The catfolk individual. Why? This is where they like to trap and imprison individuals who are awaiting sentencing. Don't know. We were brought here in the night. The most we usually ever see are 3 active guards. You gotta be kidding me! As they angrily get up and charge at the gate. Alright. Keeps this under review. Alright. As for Koh, Mancini, and Nathan, how did we split up to the same groups? And it wasn't like you guys talked about this either, you just did it. As you guys split up, Koh, you open up another small room. This one seems to be the pantry, quite large in size, but the food stocks seem to be quite diminished. Mancini, opening up this room, you find there is quite a number of chests as well as a well-crafted set of stairs that lead up and around. Um, okay, thank you. William, as you are there at your set of doors, what would you like to do there? Yeah, we ran a crew a while back. Works for us. While you're talking to the cat person, yeah. So they get a pardon, but I don't? Inside you. Yes. Inside you find that there is a small armory in here as well as a bed. Yes. Yeah, go ahead and just click the attack roll. It should complain about it, but let you do it. Uh, oh wow, you don't. As they each jump back up on their beds. Yeah, you trying to kill us? Obviously. Hold up. Crap, we don't have anything to hide behind. Ah! We're small, and that space underneath the mattress is even smaller. As they grab the wood that is supposed to be the mattress and show you that it doesn't even move. Any other bright ideas? Alright. And go ahead and roll some damage there. As you see some scratches and a little bit of denting on the lock. While you guys are discussing the morality, while you guys are discussing the morality of this decision, you three are at this door. Oh, okay. Then, may as well stick with you guys then. Um, oh, by the way, out of the five of you, who picked up the manacle keys? Well, I didn't have an item for it. It's more of who picked them up. Character-wise, who would have picked up the manacle keys? All right, so probably Ko. Oh, okay. So either Ko or Mancini. Either way, it's with that group. Sure, go for it. Roll that damage. You're seeing a bit more damage on it, but it's still holding true. It sounds like your group, Ko, Mancini, one of you two has the key. Azan lifted his hands off of the hook. Um, yeah, yeah, and then Mancini was given the keys. Yeah. So yeah, Mancini has the keys. All right. So now that Aaron is back, Ko, Mancini, Nathan, you're at this door. It looks pretty fine. Go ahead and make your perception check. With the blood pumping and the sound of a torch in the room, it's kind of hard to make out any other sounds on the other side, but you do hear another torch. As you open the door, though, a dog comes to standing, lets out a bark, and starts growling at the intrusion, while a individual sitting at a desk looks up. You can see tired eyes. I just sent the report on your group. Back to the city council, reporting that you'd been captured. And like, no. Gosh, I hate when he does this. The captain likes to go undercover. The council's approved it, but it's good to know that I need to fill out that report too. You're telling me. When I signed up for... Did you do it through the proper channels? Frickin' judicial... How about this? Your party, which I believe they decided and dubbed you some stupid name, like the Dockyard Slayers or something dumb like that. Anyways, those individuals have been captured. Ka Maluhia is no longer looking for you. Um, there should be some resources to get you out of here down in the storeroom. You just came up the stairs. He pats the dog on its head and it starts to calm down. You might be able to find a ship in there, in one of the crates. Um, Good luck, though. I don't know what kind of condition it would be in. Uh, Surely he's going to claim it was some sort of finder's fee for something. Thank you very much. And he starts shuffling through papers. I'll find the report eventually. I'd... You hear through the door, I did not hear that. He did. Yes, it is. Alright. So while you guys are rolling me perception checks to dig through these crates, because there's not going to be any good loot in there or anything. Yes, please. Ooh, that turned out interesting. No, you guys actually made it very easy for me to average out the numbers. You didn't roll the same number, but you guys were the average was smack dab in the middle, easy, because one was two below it, and one was two above it, and one was right on it. So, made it very easy for my math. Alright, Azan and William. Whew. Okay. You do, but go ahead and roll me a perception check as you investigate this armory. Okay. Um, that was a very good roll. Uh, hmm. You definitely. Oh wait, we're doing. I forgot. We're doing natural 20 gets you a hero point, didn't we? Yes, you would. Oh yeah, because you rolled a nat 20 off of a hero point earlier too, huh? Yep. And then you just got another hero point back. So you've got 2 hero points. Uh, yeah, in about 40 minutes. All right. It looks like yeah, you're the only one that's rolled a 20 this session. you you've rolled 2 and I've rolled 1. All right. I guess there's this stuff. All right, let's. I'm gonna roll. I guess I'm just gonna do that. Enter. Oh, I don't need to see that. All right. Let's. Oh, yeah. That we're gonna delete that because that shouldn't be. Oh, this is gonna be interesting. Why are all these rare things showing up? Holy crap. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Alright, good. That made that easy. Alright. I will go ahead and just reveal the loot that was randomly rolled. So you find there is a battle loot. There. Oh, wait, hold up. I should be mystifying this crap. uh, man. Oh, I've got to do this the hard way? Come on. Alright. Import, 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 and import. No, no. Oh, mystification. Unidentified. Haha, there we go. There we go. That's how we're gonna do it. Alright. Alright. Yep. And then finally, uh, reveal. Alright, there we go. There's the 5 items that you were able to find in there. There should actually, no, let's do this. You also need to find 2 pieces of armor. Because armor is a thing that you can find. Alright, and we're gonna go. And we're gonna go with this one as well. Alright, here we go. There's that and that. So if you click, ooh, I don't know what clicking on it does as a character. Let's see here. Oh, I think it has to be in your inventory or the party stash. Yes. But yes, you find all those things in there. Azan, what are we? Oh, you were taking down all the individuals' information. Nathan, you are making your way around, trying to reconnect with those two. Yeah. A box? No, I could sail a boat in the water. Okay. Did you, Nathan? The lock is looking a lot worse at this point. You had a lot of keys on that ring, but oh, don't worry. There can be more. Okay. Let's see. What criminal acts can we have these guys in here for? Well, um, the goblin. Pyromancy. The kobold, for, um, wow, why am I drawing a blank right now? It's, for battery. The catfolk individual for, thievery. And the, dockworker, keeps stating that he's innocent. He's innocent. He did not murder his, girlfriend. Yes. You found a boat in a bottle. Uh, but you guys also did find a number of other items. You found an unusual looking dagger, a number of unusual looking gems. Oops, you're supposed to be it. There, 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 and I don't know which one, so I'm just gonna grab that one. Alright, yep. Okay, there we go. And then, yep, you guys did grab a ship in a bottle. Um, you are welcome to roll any one of the four. Nature, religion, occultism, arcana. Uh, um, Azan, that door you opened, inside was a round table, and on the table, unoccupied, were several gold coins. Really interesting. What? That's real. That's frustrating. Oh, interesting. I accidentally did the exact item I meant to do. Cool. Alright, there you go. Got those items. Alright, cool. But yeah, you've got a number of coins there on the table. Um, quick look. Go ahead and roll me a perception. Taking a look, there's probably about 35 gold on the table. Alright, you should be able to grab the coins off that table, or as many as you choose. Alright, Nathan, it looks like you made it back with the key. William, while you're waiting for Nathan to return with the key, it looks like this lock is about ready to give in. Okay. What, you don't want any to go astray and kill someone? Okay. As the key is brought forward, the lock is able to be opened. Excellent. As they will move to follow. And I'm just going to move them as one token. Alright, Koh and Mancini. Are you guys going to... What is your plan? Um, Mancini, looking at this, there's no way that this is an actual ship. It's a ship in a bottle. I mean, come on. Um, Koh, I mean, it seems silly that they said there's a ship down here in the first place, and I'm, to be fair, there was a ship down here in a bottle. Um, I guess maybe there's a chance there's magic in it. Oh, hello, Azan. All right. At this point, I would assume that William and Nathan, you guys would have opened up that other door as well. That's how you start a coup. All right. Well, we know who's the lawful evil character now. Oh. Right? Elemental barbarian is fun. Azan, as you walk up these stairs and open up this door, you are now looking up at a small flight of stairs at a small, almost throne-like chair as a large with a large hairy individual sitting upon a that throne, and two dogs rise up from the bottom of the stairs and begin to growl at you. You're not one of my gods. I need everybody to join the initiative. I need to change your status. I don't think I can do that here. Yeah, that way I can keep track of everybody. Especially with what I anticipate is going to be coming up here real quick. Oh. Alright, William. Let me unpause it. That way you can move about as you need. Should have 5 more for that second stride, just so you're aware. Okay. As this bugbear on the throne stands up, pulling out this massive sword with both hands. Pointing it down at Azan. I will kill you before you meet judgment. And he is going to try and demoralize you. Oh, I guess I should make it public roll now. I'm at that point. But that is not very effective against you, Azan. So it is Ko's turn. I love that you're all looking for a different person. Okay. Nathan. Yeah. Nope. Nothing seems to be wrong. Well, at this point, they've already been removed. It opened inwards. Yep. Away from you, yes. Yes. Yep, interact. I wonder why. All right. All right. As you guys begin to hear yelling coming from Azan. Oh yeah. The only person who does not is Mancini. You are on the other side of the compound. You have plenty of solid walls in between you. This group would have come out here. You would have stayed with them. They are unarmed, but yes, that's their token. That's a cat person, cat folk. Correct. Okay. Right. He is going to go. Oh, dang! Of course, the movement adds up just perfectly like that, and that is going to trigger their reaction. I guess I gotta do. How much? 30. Okay. Alright, cool. I'll just move you. One there, and one there. And that's their turn. Alright, Ko. Yes. These three are the members of your crew that William has rescued. Yeah. Yep. All right. All right. Well, okay. Do you want to delay your turn? That way you can act after Mancini. Okay. That way you still get a turn this round. All right, Azan. Okay. Sounds good. Ah, that corner wall is gonna get you. Oh, that brazier too, huh? Alright, so one action there. Please, I have to go take care of my son. They already relocked it. Otherwise, he would have gone out a long time ago. Okay. All right. Let's do this. 10, 25, 30. So, collides with one wall. Are you kidding me? I made sure it didn't collide with a single one. This game is rigged. So there's the first dog's movement. The second doggo gets there with his two actions and decides to pounce at the one enemy in front of him. The dog's going to hero point that. Alright, Mancini. Yep. Yep. Okay. So, Nathan, if you would like to discover what that bottle is, if you could roll Arcana, Occultism, Nature, or Religion. Yes, please. Aha. You have heard of these, and they are extremely rare. They are called ships in a bottle. I know, so original. But the second the bottle touches water, it will break open and a ship will appear in its place. Yes. You have two more actions. By one dog, yeah. As you come into this room once more that had the table where you were asked to surrender, the dog in there just starts barking loudly. Okay. Let me get this Dead fella out of the way. Pile the bodies into a corner. That's the humane way to do it, right? Alright, William. Okay, perfect. As you move away, the dog is just gonna bark at you. Uh, yes, correct. Okay. Alright. And you can just leave it as targeting that same one and roll it again for the other. That dog was adamant it was not going to. Okay. 20, 25. Okay, there's their turn. Koh. Maybe. Oh. Yeah, it's your turn, Koh. Okay. Alright. Azan. Everything I've tracked, you've been good. Oh yeah, that guard that you guys knocked unconscious. Yeah, he's starting to yell. Okay. Go ahead and target it and do the demoralize. Or you just have to click intimidate right below that. And that'll determine Doggo's actions. Ooh, a success. Excellent. Alright. This doggo was told to stay. This doggo. They are going to start barking quite madly. But they are not going to move. Mancini. It is your turn. Run away! Run towards it. And Shane, by the way, you are on mute. Okay. Yeah, so you could do a prepared action. Okay. Nathan. Oh my goodness. The dock lays before you, empty. No. Just the GM building suspense. on your next turn, since that was 3 actions to get that far. Yep. Yeah. Let's see here. Yeah. Either way, that's a good spot for him. Pupper's still not in initiative just yet. William. Delay until after. Okay, cool. Well, Bugbear's next, so that makes that easy. Alright, he comes running in. 5, 10, 15. At this point, he does trigger Mancini's prepared action. So if you would like to use your reaction to fulfill that prepared action. As only person who has left is Nathan. London Bridge is falling down. Whew. Alright, yeah, that is a nat 20 crit for a hero point. What damage does your gun do? Is it bludgeoning or piercing? Then you get to... Oh, wow. Alright, yeah. Oh, dang. Yeah, I would. Alright, go ahead and roll that critical damage. Wow. It doesn't say it's both. Concussive. Oh, okay, so resistance-wise, it doesn't, but for damage-wise, it's piercing. Gotcha. Yeah, so when determining creature resistance or immunity to damage from this weapon, use the weaker of the target's resistance or immunity to piercing or to bludgeoning. But it only does piercing damage. So, if it's resistant to piercing but not to bludgeoning, it still takes the full damage. It's kind of tricky that way. Yeah. If it was either one, then next to the damage, it would let you choose either the arrow or like a hammer icon. So, okay. Ouch, that was a good shot, and he is not feeling good after that. But he's still going to finish his charge forward as you shot him in the head, and he is going to take an attack at Koh. That is not the right stat block. That is the right stat block. That first swing will miss, and he is going to not give up, as he is going to now just bring it back up, trying to slow. Okay, well, he's not dealing with a bludgeoning weapon, so he just misses in this situation. Whew. That would have been bad, though. Whew. All right, William. I just realized something and I'm not happy about it.
What?
For the recording, I had you guys on mute the whole session.
Oh no.
So, damn, that sucks.
I
I'm
know.
gonna move back. And then I guess needle darts. I'm gonna try to hero point.
Okay. Oh my
Yes, I
god. The target is. You have an option of 6 damage and petrification on the. Oh gosh. They're petrified for 10 minutes. You hit them just right.
Sweet. They can run. That's all my actions. But
As much as you are stone, Ko, you see that the bugbear before you is even more so.
What do you mean?
Like this, after getting blasted with William's needle darts, you see the skin just turn a solid matte gray as their snarl just is frozen in place.
They're frozen? How's it frozen?
they're petrified.
They're petrified.
Alright, in that case. What is going on?
Oh, because it didn't do an angle. There's one action.
So tempted.
And there's 2.
Ew. Actually, I'm gonna stand right here. Wait for these guys to get out. Just in case.
Okay.
Nathan, you got the boat ready?
Throw it into the water.
I guess I'll ready an action to. Oh no, you need Q to do that. So
Yep.
never mind. Then I'm going to. No, that's 2 actions. Healed. I don't have to worry about that. I'm going to raise my ship.
Okay. Alright, that'll bring us over to Azan.
Seems like a good opportunity for a skedaddle. So how's this boat coming along?
There's still no boat. Alright.
Oh, the dogs.
Pupper 2 is no longer afraid. It is going to charge in between the statue's legs and attack Mancini. Oof. Both attacks missing. First just narrowly. Alright, Mancini.
Alright, I am going to run away. Run. We're going out the way we came in, right?
Yes. We must get to the docks. Get to the ship if you want to live.
Come with me if you want to live. Yeah, I'm going to use all my actions to do that. Okay, and that'll be my turn.
Alright, I'm gonna move you back 1 square, so you and Nathan aren't in the same.
Oh, that works.
Alright. With the end of your turn, that'll bring up Nathan.
Okay, they're on the boat.
Okay. As you throw a boat into the water and it expands, you find yourself with a vessel. More along the lines of a glorified sailboat. It looks like it'll safely transport you along the shoreline, but not much further out into the sea or anything.
Well, it's what we got. So I'm gonna climb aboard.
Okay.
How are NPCs with you guys?
NPCs at this point, because they have been following Nathan this whole time, are also going to go jump in the boat. So Nathan, NPCs are in the boat. He's stoned for 10 minutes. He ain't doing nothing. In fact, you know what? Screw it. He is no longer needed in initiative. I don't think you're gonna be needed either, doggo. Not sorry. All right, William.
Can't hear you.
Oh, I'm gonna command this dog. Stay. You must stay.
As it is angrily growling at you.
And then I'm gonna run. As I pass by this one, I'm gonna let it know it's a good boy. Okay. And that'll be my turn.
Alright, well, you have no dogs chasing you. Everybody is able to climb aboard the ship in a last-ditch effort to get away from this unusual keep, where you guys are now aboard your own vessel with quite a bit of unique and interesting pieces as you head off in some direction. That direction is... Oh, I guess I should hop on over to the world map myself so we can figure out... That way I can show you guys where you're at and you can tell me where you're going. The few hours that you sailed would have put you right around here. Right around there.
Around where?
Where the,
He moved us a slight bit east of Ka Maluhia.
yeah,
Just a little bit.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't pick that up.
no worries. Actually, let's do this. I can go... There we go. Pulled you guys right in.
Cool.
But yep, that is where you guys are at.
Cool. Where we
Um,
trying to go?
It was South Shore that was the slaver place?
Dirtcross is the slaver place.
yep. So Dirtcross is where the slavery, or where slavery is common practice. Um, the place that they were supposedly being taken was Malhaven, the capital of the Dirtcross Domain.
Hey, that's where I'm from.
So
Alright, so I guess we're trying to go east along the shore?
in this little ship, okay.
So
Are-
we,
Or I don't know. Does anyone have a better idea? I'm open to suggestions.
I don't feel like we can easily go back to Ka Maluhia because we might be arrested a little bit.
Yeah, apparently we're wanted criminals.
But we are such good and virtuous people. This makes no sense to me.
It is kind of odd. Like, how did the captain find out? Like, that happened just the day before, and we. Feels like we went very quickly after. I mean, I guess I did lose a bunch of time when I was dead.
I suppose maybe that cloaked individual I saw talking to the captain was someone with the guards. I chose not to pursue them.
I mean, you couldn't have known. He seemed like a shady guy. It was probably. I would have assumed it was a shady deal myself.
Yeah, I assumed it was merely crime.
This
Yeah,
whole time, it's a set of an entrapment.
But shucks, if we're able to find these girls, I think that'll do a lot for our our return.
Yeah. At this point, saving them is kind of the only redeeming part of what we're trying to do here. I feel like we've committed quite a few horrible acts in pursuit of this.
All
For what
right.
it's worth,
So it sounds like the plan is to continue onwards, sailing along the coastline until you guys reach Malhaven.
Can we repair the ship at all along the way?
It's not that it's bad in a bad state. It's actually in a great state. It's just that it's not a great ship.
yeah, I'm assuming we're not catching up to a ship that at least is decent enough to be named in this.
Yeah, this ship is very crowded right now with the 8 of you. So,
We can push the rest of the crew back onto the dock and leave them.
oh,
No, at the very least, we could put up with it being crowded for like half an hour or something. Drop them like a few miles up the coast or something. If we want more space.
That's fair. And they could teach us how to sail.
yep. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and stop the one-sided